Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, everybody in Leaving California world. Seems like things are getting crazier and crazier all the time. I can't believe how fast things are changing. And I'm actually calling you from my new home. I live in Rhodes Ranch in Las Vegas now, and I have a new studio. It's still a work in progress, but a lot of things are going on. Good morning, Terry. How are you?
Never better, David. It's a beautiful day.
And Monty, it's good to see you again. I'm kind of blown away at all the things that are going on in our world. It just seems to be crazier and crazier every day. How are you doing, Monty?
Doing great. Can't complain.
Well, here we are. We're at episode 12, and that's like 3 months, guys. This has been great, and this is our most popular show. So this is the one I get excited about and I look forward to every week. And so what's going on in the money matter world, Monty?
Yeah, great question. So the Fed, that favorite measure of inflation, PCE, which stands for personal consumption expenditures, we got that in last week. That remained at a 3-year low. Home sales were subdued in June, and then we saw some economic growth in like GDP. So those were the three main things that we wanted to talk about today. Inflation readings keep the Fed on track for their September rate cut, which is great. Everybody likes that. Those existing home sales did decline, but inventory was ticking a little bit higher, and then the jobless claims did improve, but they remain very, very elevated. So we'll break those three things down as we go.
All right. What's going on in California? Anything? I had a couple of things I wanted to share, Terry. What about you?
Well, yeah, David, go ahead.
Okay, let me show you this. And by the way, for all of our listeners out there, we want to really we focus on money every week, but we're also focusing on topics in California, things that are important. And I saw this one, the homelessness crisis in California. I believe Gavin just automatically just decided, well, we're getting close to an election. Let's go ahead and clean up the cities. And Monty, maybe you could touch on that too in a minute, but it's just crazy how the government does have a lot of control and they can switch on a dime. But Terry, anyway, what are your thoughts about this?
Well, we saw it happen when the Chinese leader came to San Francisco. All of a sudden, there were no homeless in San Francisco. Gee, what a concept that they could clean up the streets, get all the poop off the sidewalks, and let people actually live a life for a week or so, and then it was right back to what it was before. I find it interesting that now Newsom, now granted, he said that it's the Supreme Court decision to allow states and municipalities to outlaw camping on sidewalks, which why do you need a Supreme Court decision for that? Come on. But beside that, so now as I believe Newsom's running for president, he may want to be president this time. So I think he's saying, okay, look, I'm no longer this ultra leftist liberal. I'm moving to the center. Oh, look, we're cleaning up California. Look at what we're doing. We are making California beautiful again, which is the same thing that Biden did when he came out and said, oh, you know what? I know the border's been open for 3 years, and I've been trying to get Congress to pass laws so I can close it, which it was closed when he took over. But now all of a sudden he had the executive power to be able to close the border, even though he hasn't, to try and make it look like he's moving to the center. So this is all what drives me crazy, David, is they're not doing what's best for the country. They're not doing what's best for the taxpayer, for the citizen of the United States. They're doing what's best so they can keep their power and grow their power. That's their whole philosophy is, how do I maintain power? How do I grow my power? And not what's in the best interest, which again is what public service is supposed to be about, is serving the public. But they're not doing that.
Well, it's crazy. I got two words for that. Too late. But anyway, I kind of wanted, Monty, I wanted you to touch on, because, for our listeners out there, it is kind of concerning about the government and what kind of controls they have or they don't have. And as somebody that is, one of our members, when we're talking about government and their controls and how they can control the interest rate, they can control a lot of things. What are your thoughts for our members that are thinking about leaving California, and talk a little bit about that with the government?
Yeah, I would say not to worry yourself too much about their power because you can't change it. So it's not going to help to worry about what it can do to you. You got to control what's in your power, what's in your household day to day, your family. It's all that you've been given. There's a great verse in the Bible that says, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. So in that same respect, whether you believe in God or not, just as much as it depends on you, control what you can control. What does the government have as far as power? Clearly a lot. We've seen that with the Fed over the past few years as they've done these rate hikes, and not everybody has agreed. In fact, very few people have agreed, I would say, with Jerome Powell and what he has done and how long he's kept this going. So the good news is we believe it's coming to an end. June's personal consumption expenditures, as we said, showed that the headline inflation rose by 0.1% from May. That year over year reading, though, declined from 2.6 to 2.5. So core PCE, that favorite measure of inflation for the Fed, for Jerome and all of his people, that strips out the volatile food and energy prices, that rose 0.2 monthly. So the year over year reading there held steady at 2.6, and that's still the lowest level in 3 years. So what does that all mean? It means that they've been working hard, the Fed, to tame inflation. They've been hiking that benchmark Fed funds rate, as we've said, the overnight borrowing rate for banks 11 times from March of 2022 to July of 2023. So these hikes were designed to slow the economy down and making borrowing more expensive, lowering that demand for goods so that pricing pressure and inflation would shrink. So inflation has been making good progress, lower. It's been moving that direction late last year before stalling really in the first quarter of this year. And that caused the Fed to hold and say, wait a minute, time out. Maybe we don't need to cut these rates quite as fast. So the good news is we've been seeing these improved readings throughout the second quarter, and that's led to the growing expectation that the Fed will indeed cut rates at their meeting on September the 18th. So these latest PCE numbers leave the Fed on track to really make that move. And so that's good. We're finally going to see some improvement in the power that the government has.
Monty, I believe that, and again, every week I say this, and I mean this from my heart. We are so blessed to have Monty. And when you talk about religion and blessed, you made me think about the Olympics, but let's not even go there today. It was kind of disgusting, but you can figure that out for yourself. But so I believe there's 3 different mentalities to our members. We have the member that says, I got to get out right now. I've got to go. We've got the member that says, I'm not really sure. And they're 50-50 on leaving because of all the problems. And then we have other members that just are unhappy, but are probably never going to leave. And the most important thing to them, I'm sure, is they must be thinking, they see all this media, they see the news. What would you tell? I guess you can really put it into all 3 categories. What should they do? Because action gets results. And Terry is the best at saying, leaving California, welcome to America. And it's so true. And from our Leaving California, which I want to give a shout out to Terry today, because I've been seeing the videos are being released now from our Freedom Tour, and they are phenomenal. Terry, you did such a great job with that. But the main theme over and over again was leaving California, welcome to America. And we actually have proof now. We proved it. We went and interviewed these people that have left. So what would you say to the 3 different categories, Monty?
Yeah, I would say it depends on your situation as to what's best. So we're not here, Terry, David, or none of us are here to tell you what is right for you. What we do ask you every week is engage, call me, let me look at it, kind of like a doctor. You want a doctor to help you understand your medical condition. You want a financial expert to help you understand your financial condition and what you could do, what your options truly are, so you're not self-diagnosing on WebMD or on Google or ChatGPT or something about what's really going on. So I would tell you, if you're in one of those categories and you wonder, have any curiosity even around what options would look like, that's where we want to talk to you. The second thing that I want to highlight today was that existing home sales decline and what that means for you. Those fell for the 4th straight month according to NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors. Those June transactions were down by 5.4% from May, and also 5.4% from a year ago. That report measures closings on existing homes in June and likely reflects that people shopping for homes in April and May when rates were above 7%. So why do I share that with you? The number of closings declined in June. Some of those internals within the report point to demand remaining high, even in the face of elevated rates. So don't take it as a negative necessarily. We know that homes remained on the market for a shorter period of time in recent months. Average of about 22 days is all in June. That was down from 24 days in May and 26 days in April, 33 days in March. So we're seeing a 33, 26, 24, 22. When those rates get cut, it's gonna be pandemonium. So the reason we want you to engage now is it's still smooth sailing. It's still calm waters. You can still navigate your little dinghy or your massive yacht out into the water to the place you want to navigate to. Once all the boats start coming and it's a race to get to the destination, it's going to be hard, not impossible, but hard to get to where you're wanting to go. So really want you to engage for your benefit, not for our benefit.
Right. And Terry, I have to ask you, you must be such a proud papa. Our founder, our creator, these videos that you're producing on all of the people, we have all these big migration cities that we covered from all of our members leaving California. If you haven't had a chance to check them out, you have to watch these videos. They're amazing. Terry, any thoughts on what I just said to Monty? And man, great job on the videos, Terry.
Well, thanks, David. This was all your brainchild. This was your suggestion. So thank you for your suggestion that we actually do these tours, and especially to Monty, who was our national sponsor of the tour. We really appreciate that. But yeah, definitely go to our YouTube channel and check out our videos that we've created. We have many more to come about our tour of the South, and we are making plans to possibly do another tour in the fall when things cool down in a certain state. I won't tell you which one yet. But let me also address this. As far as what Monty was talking about, as far as inflation is more tame, it's funny. You hear the politicians say now, hey, look, everything's great. Inflation is dropping. Inflation is dropping. You know what they're not saying? They're not saying that prices are dropping, because they're not. All they're saying is the rate of increase in prices is slowing down. Don't forget, prices are 20% higher now than they were 4 years ago. The average American has to spend 10,000 more per year, 7,000 more per year, just to stay even from where they were 4 years ago. And most of them have not gotten raises to cover that. And if you do get raises, guess what they do? They take more taxes out. So I want people who are in California, who are on the fence, to me, this is my opinion. I don't have this in writing, but I believe inflation is significantly higher in California for everything. We know it is for energy prices. We know it is for especially gas, electricity, fuel for your car, things like that. So if you're looking for a lower increase in the cost of housing, prices, everything else, you want to look somewhere else in the country. And not to mention that we haven't gotten into the side that Elon Musk has moved the rest of his companies out of California, is moving the rest of his companies because of the school decisions that Newsom made about transgenderism and all this stuff. And again, I don't want to get political, too much more political, because we're talking about money today. But look, call Monty, let him look at your financial situation, let him help you, even if you're a year or two away. We've dealt with people who 5 years ago said, I'm leaving in 5 years, and now they're leaving. So 5 years goes by really fast. It's amazing. But definitely reach out to Monty if you're looking to leave the state of California, and he can help you. He's got resources available that none of us have.
Well, you know what, Terry, I'm going to go ahead and post this. And we talked a little bit about this before, but it's crazy how many Californians have moved to Nevada. There's been thousands, tens of thousands of people that have moved to Southern Nevada. And like Monty said, if you want to figure out where to go, you really need to have professionals like us to be able to help you, guide you, and give you the tools to make it easy, because it is a stressful thing. But there's just been tens of thousands of people that have moved to Southern Nevada. We have so many great things. I know a lot of people rip on Nevada, but I mean, you look, here's a thought, Terry. Start looking at the positive things. Don't just look at a couple of negative
Wow.
things.
Really? You can look in the positive side of life?
Yes, you can.
And here's my comment. Can tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands, really, over the last 5-10 years, can hundreds of thousands of people be wrong moving to Southern Nevada, David? I know you've helped a lot of people move
Yes.
to Nevada, and you're a great resource for people who are considering where to look.
Every day, and in our Southern Freedom Tour. And the reason we started in the South, and by the way, for those of you that are wondering, yes, we are going to have a Texas tour, and we're going to stop by and see Monty. We can't wait to go and visit him in his office in his city. And we are going to have a Southern Freedom Tour. We're going to have a Southwest tour. We're going to do a lot of different tours, and we're really going to be showing people where to go. But I feel like I maybe got a little sidetracked on our episode 12 of Money Matters. But what else did I forget, Monty? And did you have some other things you want to share in closing?
Yeah, just one more headline for you, and then what to look for this week. The other headline was the jobless claims. We talk about unemployment, jobless claims, continuing claims, all that. Those remained elevated. They did improve some. So the number of people filing for unemployment benefits did fall in the latest week, though the jobless claims remained elevated when compared to the beginning of this year. The first-time filers, as measured by those initial claims, that totaled 235,000 people, while 1.85 million people are continuing to receive benefits after filing their initial claim. So what's the bottom line there? Both initial and continuing claims have trended higher throughout June and July, with continuing claims topping 1.8 million for the past 7 weeks. So this shows that the pace of layoffs over the last 2 months has picked up. At the same time, employers have slowed down hiring. So all of this is setting up for a big crescendo, a big election, rate cuts from the Fed. It's going to be quite explosive, it seems like, towards the back end of this year. So what to look for in the coming week, what we're going to update probably next week is it's really a jam-packed week. Lots of things coming out. Housing news. We're going to see appreciation data for May from Case-Shiller and FHFA on Tuesday. We're going to get some unemployment claims on Thursday. Lots of other labor sector data coming out. But maybe the biggest headline is the Fed's two-day meeting begins Tuesday, tomorrow, with their monetary policy statement press conference. We don't expect a rate cut here, but they are going to have their meeting. So we'll get some more good information we can digest and download for all of you next Monday.
Well, I have to say to our members, and I'm doing this every week. I want everyone to understand that I'm a full-time licensed realtor. I'm on the phone all day long. I'm showing properties. I'm helping people. I help people with rent-to-own programs, rentals, purchases. I've actually just closed 6 transactions in the last month and a half. So, I mean, I'm busy. Terry handles 300,000 members in leaving California and a lot of other stuff we won't get into today, but we are all busy. And Monty is in the top 1% of lenders nationwide. Monty is probably out of all of us, Monty is definitely the busiest, but it's not a contest. The reason I bring this up is, we switch it up a little bit each week on our show, but I'm asking you to like, share, subscribe, comment. If you want more of a certain topic, let us know. If you want us to talk more about just interest rates, whatever it is, but please like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And, we're here to help. We give this each week. And believe me, we are all very busy people, but we make time for you and we make time for our members because it's important to us. So in closing, Terry, anything else you want to add to that?
Let's make it a great week.
All right, everybody. Hope you have a great week. We'll see you next Monday. And Your Money Matters. This is episode 12. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.